Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 95, Hollywood After Dark. Today, talking about the METROID Samus Aran piracy controversy and Dave Chappelle saying F you to cancel culture. All that and more here tonight, Hollywood After Dark. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. It is a new week. It is a new time here on Hollywood After Dark. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen you, which I know it's only been a couple days. I actually got home last night from driving and I'm all, should I live stream and just talk to you guys? And I was like, no, because it's addicting and I was tired and I went to bed. Kind of. I was up a little bit working on other stuff. I actually got a good news update real quick on the whole Stranger Days podcast. For those of you out there who do enjoy that, I have an editor now. So that will take some stuff off my plate. That's going to be good. That should allow us to get to things more consistently because I can at least get it written and recorded and then give it off to my editor. And then my editor is a good guy and he will help us out. So just that was kind of my big, nice announcement as we got into it here. I do want to give a shout out to the channel members. We got our IMAX crew. This is a $10 a month crowd. You guys are awesome. Fantasy Fan, H-Parts, Command Unit, Resident Justice. And no, RJ doesn't pay money to be here. I just like him. Real Elmo Cinema, Luther Hedges, Moisture. Thank you guys so much. We got our Prime members, 5 bones a month. Lovely day today. Power Bunny, Otis, McLeod, Zeno, Shiny, Obi-Wan, Austin. Thanks, buddies. And then, of course, our matinee members. This is the $2 a month crowd. You guys are great. Someone told me I should up this to $3 a month to tie in line with the whole $3 theater thing. And I don't know. I feel like if I upped it to $3 now, would people be pissed off? But of course, you guys are the ones who donate your money, your hard-earned cash. So I appreciate that. And that is my thing for that. My shout out. Also, this month for channel members, we're going to be giving away a copy of The Thing in 4K. So if you want to get in on that, become a channel member at any level and you can get yourself into the running. As for last month's giveaway of the Drunken Master 2, William Powell did win. He actually turned it down. He cut me deep. He turned it down. He turned down the Blu-ray of Drunken Master 2. So I will be giving it away to a random person. I'll figure out how we're going to figure it out. I need to figure it out how I want to give it away. And speaking of giving it away for free, I'd like to bring in my friend for the night. You guys know her. You guys probably like her. Saggy.
It's my stop.
It's your stop? You're going to get off? Wait.
He said I'd give it away for free. I don't. You have to pay me by bubble tea. But hello, everybody.
It's like $4.95 with extra boba. Wait,
$5.
But hold on though. What's the is it taro or do you do a specific kind?
I do milk green tea.
I've never had that.
It's good. If you like green tea and you just like it with like a lot of milk in it and sugar, then yeah, that's
well, I mean, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I have to be careful about all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you can't have sugar.
So I can't have it. I can have it every so often. You know what I mean? Like yesterday was my nephew's 6th birthday party. And we go over there and it was just like, like the whole like party grazing atmosphere. It's like, here's some chips, here's some pinwheels. And then they bring out like the cake. And my daughter, I took my 3-year-old and she was given a big piece of cake. And I'm like, she won't eat the whole thing. I'll share it with her. It will be fine. She ate the whole damn thing. And then
of course.
Everywhere, and it was really funny. Great kid. Loved watching her have fun and everything else, but I thought that was pretty good. And so let's see. Rhea here says, your mic and camera are clutch, by the way. Thank you. Need to upgrade mine soon. Well, I mean, I can tell you, it's I went a little pricey. I'll fully admit. I'll tell you why too. I went with this microphone. I was at VidCon 2018 and I was demoing it. And I put the headphones on and I started listening to my voice and I was like, oh, it's so good. Like I have a good voice. And so I'm like, I'm hearing it through this professional microphone and these professional headphones. And I'm just like, oh yeah, right. So then the next night, we're at the going away party, the final party of VidCon 2018. And I got real stoned. And I was on my phone. I'm thinking about this microphone. I'm thinking about how good I sounded. Or I'm like, I need to up my audio game. So $800 later,
Oof.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? It's been 3 years. It still rocks me pretty good. And I can't complain. So I like it. But this weekend has been interesting in regards to movie stuff. Hasn't been a lot that's been happening, but what's been happening is definitely on the crazy side. Obviously, did you hear that No Time to Die? I don't want to say underperformed with only like 56 million or 60 million somewhere in there, but a lot of people out there are going to try to argue that because they want to see this movie kind of fail. I mean, it's not great considering it's been delayed a year and a half, but
I'm not really into James Bond movies.
You should be. White, uptight British guy, just up your alley. he'll give you bubble tea, shaken, not stirred. The balls at the bottom are mine. Don't worry, I'm sterile. No, but hold on here. Lord Slug asking, was that the VidCon with the Keck flag? No, that was 2017. That was 2017. That was an embarrassment. A Kekistani flag. You ever about Kekistan?
Kekistan?
Yeah, you ever hear about that?
What about Kekistan?
Kekistan is a fake country. It was created by a bunch of shit posters in the skeptic community here on YouTube that were trying to like stick it to the man, right? Or like the blue check marks on Twitter that always went off on every little thing. And so they created this fake country called Kekistan, and it took the Nazi battle flag and it made it green and it turned it into like this fictional country. And Pepe the Frog kind of became like the mascot, right? Now this is before. Pepe was kind of co-opted. Well, not kind of, it was before Pepe was co-opted by the alt-right. So a lot of us were like in on the joke. We knew what Kekistan was, like the power of okay. Online terminology. If you want to do an alternative to LOL, it's KEK. So Kek is also an alternative to LOL. So it's very much steeped in internet culture and internet humor. Someone made a flag, like actually had it made and brought it to VidCon 2017. And it's one of those things where it's like, then we all got a picture with it. And, you're all like, yeah, because everyone there's really like, a lot of camaraderie that weekend. A lot of us had just met for the first time. There's a lot of love going on, a lot of love in the air at that moment. And so we all kind of posed for this picture. And what really sucks is my angle, I'm tilted like this, and like you just like my side titty, right? But it's like really pronounced. It's like right there. You're just like, look at that crease. Like, my God, like the shadow makes it look like I have like a D size undercut or something. I'm like, I don't have that. Like, they're C's, they're gentle C's, they're fine, they're cupfuls. You know what I mean? If I'm alone, I'm whatever. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of that went on. So that flag ultimately ended up getting brought up on MSNBC as like a hate flag. And there was like a lot of people were like trying to make it out to be like Kekistan was this hate group. And it's like, dude, it was an online joke that then got co-opted and turned into this other thing. And that tends to happen quite a bit with these little movements on the internet, right? Where they're just like, oh yeah, no, we're going to like do this thing. And then you find out that it's all someone from the alt-right comes in and they're like, wait a minute. I like this. I'm going to take this. And that's what they did. It's unfortunate. It's why I've been associated with some pretty shitty shit.
I'm always associated with some pretty shitty shit.
Hold on here, Tony here asking, remember when Hillary Clinton misunderstood Pepe? You know what? Here's the thing. In 2016, I'd argue there was a misunderstanding. Not so much anymore, though. Not so much. Anyone else who was messing around with that on a jokey format, for most part, they've backed off. They've dipped out. The people who still rock Pepe avatars are generally the kind of people, that keep a lot of starch next to their white sheets, if you know what I mean. So there's definitely that. All right. TW here says, I was really interested in a Kotaku article. Also, wasn't expecting a retrospective on Kekistan. Well, man, the internet's a wild place.
What Kotaku article? There's so many.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that one here in a quick second. Lord Slug here, it says, who will they cast in that as Jarbo in that Gamergate series?
I heard about that. I was just on stream. I was talking about it.
Yeah. So like that company, that Mind Right Entertainment, like they're in fucking Seattle. Like I'm only like an hour away. And part of me is, and I don't want to be associated with Gamergate. Like I said, it's a fucking mistake. How it turned out was a mistake. I think up until like August 2015, I think it was generally okay, but it got co-opted by 8chan and all that shit. And so, but like these guys are located out of Seattle and they want to like do this fictionalized show. Part of me is like, I just kind of want to reach out and be all like, y'all need a consulting producer? Cause like, I got the other side on that. I got the skinny on that. I could tell you some deep shit. I'd make up lies left and right. Be like, we were sitting around one night and we were all talking about drinking elk blood because apparently it just has these antibodies that makes your dicks grow huge. I would just make up stupid random crap that people like Brianna would believe and they'd run with, and I'd be like, this is fictional.
I'm glad I missed Gamergate. I'm just gonna say that. I'm glad I was not on Twitter or any of social media or YouTube or during Gamergate, because every time I hear anything about Gamergate, I'm like, yep, that is a bullet I'm glad I dodged.
It's like, but here's the thing though with that, Saggy. Literally any movement is like that on the internet, right? Like any movement on the internet will get to a point where it becomes as bad as you might think. And it's because like people don't realize when it's time to pack up and go the fuck home. That's a big part of it right there. A lot of people out there, they don't realize like, maybe we kind of reached our goal. Right? Maybe we kind of reached our goal here. Maybe we kind of hit the mark we wanted to hit. Maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe it wasn't 10 out of 10. Maybe it wasn't a grade S if we're going to use Konami here or Capcom games here. Right? But maybe it's time to go the fuck home.
See, my thing is like, the more I started to learn about Gamergate, like recently, because obviously this situation with this little fictional spy, whatever the hell it is. Obviously everyone's talking about it now, especially people who remember Gamergate. So when I'm like on streams, when people are talking about it, and they're like watching videos from people who are, I guess, were prominent figures in that during those times, I'm like, yeah, y'all had some really weird fucking people in this shit. Well,
prominent, but like, I want to know who the fuck says that they're prominent. You know what I mean? Because like there weren't that many of us who were prominent in that whole thing. Like there were people. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know, some weird ones. Like every movement has their weird people, but Gamergate seemed to have like really weird people. I don't know. There's a video about some guy who was in a car accident. And he
that wasn't real. That wasn't real. Like we talked about that last week. I showed. So what it was, it's like you can find it on the channel, right? And like I talked about it, and so I showed off the Brianna Wu, the Internet Ruined My Life video, which got blocked in Canada and the United States by NBC Universal for like almost 24 hours until they released the claim, thankfully. And then I also showed that was a guy by the name of Jace Connors, who was part of another group called $1 Million Extreme, who are like the Sam Hyde guys out there, like like the really crazy trolls. This guy was trolling Brianna, had nothing to do with Gamergate, period. Okay. And I showed off that video as well, because I'm like, no, this is the context of what, So, and Brianna knew all that. She still knows all that, but she won't ever say it because she's a liar. So it's like whatever that information, that disinformation really screwed things up. What always made me laugh, though, was like the fact that, like gaming, the people who were anti-Gamergate, like they went to the feds, they went to the government, and they're like, please, like arrest these people. I'm pretty sure like there's a dossier or a docket on me somewhere. They're like, who the fuck is this mundane Matt fucking guy? Oh,
that's what I said when I first.
Oh yeah, look at this Kevin Smith lookalike little bitch. Oh, what's he done? Oh, he talks about the games and the feminists ruin everything. He's probably got him. Yeah. Wait, why would I say feminists ruin everything?
Yeah.
Some of them do.
No, that's true. You're right.
Not all of them. I've met quite a few that are amazing, and we have great conversations.
They're called fake feminists, by the way. They're not real feminists.
They're called it's online stuff. It's online.
Fakemists.
a lot of it's online rhetoric and hyperbole for clout. It's a lot of that, like just type stuff.
They're fakes.
But no, it was like, you know, so the FBI spent 2 years investigating Gamergate, literally 2 years. Found out Gamergate didn't do nothing. And there were other like groups that had kind of come on in. There's the GNAA, the Gay Association of America. I'm not going to say the word.
Can you type it?
You can assume what it is.
I don't know what you said. I'm confused. Just type it.
No, you know exactly what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it.
No, I didn't hear you. That's why
it's the okay. It's the GN. And what? Saggy. What is a what is a word starts with an N that a white person is not allowed to say?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And it's not the A ending. It's the ER hard R ending.
Okay, right? I was confused because the way you said it threw me off.
Yeah, that's why I said GN. I'm like,
okay, that's why.
Yeah. Do I need to get a polar bear puppet to come out? Just anyway.
No, okay, that's like. Jesus. Cool,
yeah, right. No. Canceled 2.0 again and shit. But no, it's yeah. So it was a GNAA, and that was another trolling group that came out of Something Awful. And then you also had the 4chan/8chan guys who were more of the hardcore fringe right-wing alt-right type. And so there was there's like all these different groups, but the average Gamergate user or participant, whatever, when they went out and they did one of those whatever you want to call it, like the political surveys, right? Like where they stand, where their political compass, left-leaning as fuck. The vast majority left-leaning individuals. And so people out there who are trying to argue that these are all just like right-wing nutters or whatever the fuck it is no, that was later on. But in the beginning, most people were just like, I just want to play video games. And then now I'm here fighting for like, you know, to keep idiots out of gaming. Yeah, that's what Sargon of Akkad said once. He's like, I just wanted to play video games. And now I'm running. And then he's like, and then now I'm running for UKIP and I destroyed an entire political party in Europe. Anyway, there's all that stuff. It's all that type of crap. But that's Gamergate in a nutshell. So I don't remember how the fuck we got on topic of that. But anyway, Rational here for $2, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. That's a problem. It says only me and Matt remember the Habbo Hotel days. No, a lot of people remember the Habbo Hotel days. And I mean, that's still one of the funniest damn things ever. Did you ever hear of Habbo Hotel?
No.
Habbo Hotel was an online, think like, you know, I mean, it's a hangout. It's a social place. Think like Neopets had a thing like that for a while. I'm trying to think of like what your well, you're a couple years younger than me, so it's not that bad. Like RuneScape sort of thing, I guess, right? It's just a place people hang out with their avatars online in a giant ass chat room, but it's a hotel.
Okay.
All right, it's a hotel. And so at one point, the people on 4chan decided to fuck with them by having everyone dress up as an African American character in a business suit with an afro.
Wait.
And they all blocked the pool.
Game?
Yeah, it was a kid's thing.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so they all blocked the pool. And so no one could use the pool in the hotel. And then they said the pool was closed due to AIDS. And it became a meme. It became a meme. And it's really, you know, I mean, like.
Thank you, Anthony. Love you.
You know, it's just like there's so much.
I remember hearing that story. That's I actually know what's funny. I believe I heard that story back when Philip DeFranco was still like a small YouTube channel. Yeah, see, here's this here. It's like pools closed is the meme. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just that's what it was. It was just that's the joke. And a lot of people out there were like, you know, it's all gone. You know, this is so far removed in regards to how we've lived life, you know, how the internet has evolved. Like there are things now that like, you know, people would laugh at 15 years ago that you sure as hell won't be able to do as much anymore. No. But I think people are coming back, and that's what kind of takes me over to this whole thing with the closer. So as we get into like the near 20-minute mark, I can get to the first topic here. So tonight while I was out doing my driving, I decided to bust out Netflix and start and give it a listen, right? Give the new Chappelle show
Chappelle final stand up and listen, so I could have full context, because I've seen everyone over the course of the the last couple of days, like just kind of going after it and everything else, and they're just like attacking it and attacking him. And look, you can like what he says. I thought there were some jokes that landed. I thought there were some jokes that didn't really, get there. But right now, even Chappelle is saying that, he rails against cancel culture amid the closer controversy. And the thing is, the people that are really mad at him, and I'll tell you this, the people that are really mad at Chappelle, we played that clip tonight, and I'll play it again. They're mad at him for this clip. And I'll tell you this, Saggy, they didn't even listen to the rest of the goddamn special. I'll tell you that much.
I'm not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not pussy, but that's like beyond pussy or impossible pussy. You know what I mean? It tastes like pussy, but that's not quite what it is it? It's not blood, that's beet juice.
Yeah.
That clip at the end when they focus always gets me.
That right there, that was deliberate as hell, and that cracked me the hell up. And so here's the thing with it, right? Is I felt that Chappelle was doing what he did with a good reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, for him to have a good reason. Now, before I go into what I thought here, I have I said the other night, we're talking about this, that'd be great if Anna was here, because Anna identifies with the LGBTQ community. She acknowledged this last night on her stream. Don't know where the fuck she is. I sent her an invite. And there are people out there now. McLeod says Jesse Gender, a trans Star Trek YouTuber, did a great take on this and his special, recommending it, time permitting, that it's about 59 minutes long. It's about as long as the thing itself, as the special itself. So check that out if that's something you guys are interested in. Now, listening to the show, Dave made very interesting points, and I could see why he was approaching it the way that he was approaching it. And it's what his primary thing was this. And he makes a point early on about how, he's all about how black people have suffered for 400 years and they're just now making headway. And the trans community has not been as long oppressed, and they're getting like shit done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, that was, I think, what he was going for here. He was being more critical of like the black community more than he was being critical of the trans community. And he makes that, he says that point blank during the special. So I think his frustration lies with like what he sees as a failure on the social activism side, and how, and he kind of hints at how he views white women as being the source of the problem here. And that's like, talking about feminism and like when they were trying to, do the women's lib stuff, and then the Sojourner Truth, I'm probably mispronouncing her name, and she wanted to speak and they didn't want her to speak because they didn't want to conflate women's issues with race or slavery. And it's like, the fuck is wrong with you? The two issues, they go hand in hand in many instances. I don't think there's a problem with trying to find the right way to have that conversation. Some mate here asking me says, do you love controversy? I think it happens all the time, whether you wanted to or not. I think we can have discussions about things.
Who doesn't love controversy on YouTube?
Well,
you new?
Yeah. And I'm not trying to, people who know me know where I stand on a lot of things. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody.
Well, see, here's the thing. When people say controversy, it's like, we're having a discussion about something that's controversial. It's not about loving controversy. It's like when controversy happens, we should be allowed to talk about it among each other and with an audience or people who want to, discuss it, whether it's on the panel or in the chat. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I did see here. I think it was Bite Me said you were watching and driving. I can minimize the window for Netflix on my phone and then just use my GPS app so I can listen to it is what I did. I wasn't like, hold on, what's happening over here as I'm like navigating around.
He needed to see Dave Chappelle, so he's like,
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm watching Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. No, officer, you can't pull me over. I've got the Chappelle card. I am activism. I don't know what it would be. No, I mean, the thing is like Chappelle, I get what he was trying to argue. And I think like, look, there are clearly oppressed people out there, but he made points about how, like in his mind, he views in some instances gay people, that consider themselves a minority until they need to be white, and like that they have that level of safe space is what he's kind of referring to.
I would say if we're talking about like history between, people of color versus homosexuals. If anything, if you look at the history, homosexuality was it happened a lot more than people thought. Like back in like the days before, what we would call it BC, homosexuality was there. It always was there. It's just like as time went by, it was frowned upon because religion happened, and then that happened and it said, well, being gay is bad, and then everyone stopped doing it. But there were still people that would have like kings would have orgies with guys and girls. It happened a long time. It was actually kind of at one point accepted.
Well, it's like so Roman I think they Roman Spartans,
yeah,
right, or Roman legionnaires. Like those guys, like they fucked. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
like it was part of a bonding process between them. That's how
normal.
Yeah, it's like, hello there, Atreides. How art thou this evening? I've noticed your rear end is glistening very well in the moonlight. It has made my sword just grow to an unforeseen length I've never experienced before. How would you like to sheath it for me? Brother, be my honor. Tomorrow we fight the ghouls. Tonight we fight our passions. There we go.
God. Please somebody clip that. Holy crap. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like homosexuality was normal. It was normal for a while. And then, like I said, I'm assuming, I don't know exactly. I'm just assuming that when religious came to play and they said, well, homosexuality is bad. That's kind of why people started frowning upon that. And so that's when they were kind of.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, because I grew up in Portland. Portland is a really, Oregon's a very liberal place,
Right.
And when I was a kid, there was a big fervor about the book Heather Has Two Mommies coming to my elementary school. I was like in 5th grade, and they wanted to put Heather Has Two Mommies in there. And a lot of people were like, whoa, man, whoa, you can't teach kids about lesbian parents. And I was like, who fucking cares? Like I was 10. Who cares? Right. But like growing up, like going to church and stuff, and it was a lot of that, like, the homosexuality is a sin. It's a damnable offense. And if you have those kind of thoughts, you're just, you're going to go to hell. I'm like, dude, my sexuality, I'm completely fine with my sexuality. Dude, there are hot men out there. Are you kidding me? Like I'm straight as hell, but like I'd let Henry Cavill drill me, like be like, yeah, toss a coin to your Witcher, baby. Like, fuck.
Oh my God, I can't.
I'm being hyper. I'm joking. But the idea here is like, no, it's like, look, it's not that big of a deal. People use it as this cudgel. And then I think in some cases, people also use it as a shield. And again, you can't, and that's what Chappelle was trying to say. It was like, you cannot be critical of the LGBTQ community. And that's a lot of what, and if you look at the response that's coming in from this, they're proving his point implicitly. Now, I'm not saying I think all of his points made sense, or I thought some things he said went a little bit too far. But Queen Danny here says, use a dead woman as a shield, as if one person's opinion really can represent a whole community's opinion of a situation. But that was, again, what he was talking about was, 16 years ago when he was in Frisco, he had told some transgender jokes that caught the ire of a particular woman who chided him. And then like the next day, a gay paper in Frisco wrote an article with those same talking points she was attacking him with. And here it is over a decade and a half later. And those talking points are still something that he is hit with. That's what he's talking about. Like, so there's a lot there. He goes through history. He talks about his history, but he also does it in a way where you're like, you know, like he apparently got into a fight with a lesbian woman and like she took a swing at him and he like laid her titty out apparently. You know, something along
by the way, no, he didn't use her as a shield. When he first had controversy, first comments he made in the last like stand up he did on Netflix, people were mad at him about it, and she came to his defense. He didn't use her as a shield. She was alive when she came to his defense, and then like a few weeks, I think it was a week or maybe a few days later, she committed suicide.
Yeah.
And he wasn't using her as a shield. She defended him of her own will when she was alive, and she passed away. And he was talking. He brought her up because he was hurt. That was his friend. It wasn't a shield, and even her family stood up for him as well. So no, he didn't use her as a shield.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, you know, he actually like tells a story about how he brought her on to open up for him, and she bombed like for 45 minutes. She bombed, but she didn't run away. She didn't hide. She sat there. She laughed alongside him, and they had this great conversation. And then every time after that, if he was in Frisco, he would have her open for him. Right. If you know, so it's one of those things where it's like, the idea that people manufacture about somebody without ever really talking to them. And we all do it. All right. Like, let's not even try to act like we don't judge. We all fucking judge. All right. You know, and so it's one of those things where that's why I like this special. Cause I think like, yeah, he used some, you know, insensitive language, and he said some things that were clearly said to get a rise out of people, but he did it with the explicit intent for this to happen. Right. Because he knew that he was going to be dipping out for a minute. He knew that he was going to be causing a stir. Netflix knows. Netflix doesn't fucking care. They don't care. They're people are talking about them in the news. People are watching, you know, I watched it tonight. I probably wasn't going to get around to watching it for like another week. And I was like, yeah, I want to see this, you know? Okay. Now Queen here says, he says Tritter Toll has made her commit suicide. No, he says that he doesn't know if that's what happened or not. He doesn't know if them dragging her on Twitter is what caused her.
And her family even said that it wasn't Dave's fault.
Yeah.
Like the family came out and said that that's not true.
Yeah. So it's like she stood up for him, and then she put herself in the firing line, and she got shit on. And then, yeah, she killed herself. We don't know if that's the case or not, but he says he doesn't know. And her family did support him. So I think it's one of those things. Fourth here saying, Shield is another stupid progressive parrot point that gets thrown around way too much. Sure. Lorenzo here says she was dogpiled online for defending Dave Chappelle. She then killed herself. Again, that is your interpretation of the events. He didn't specify one way or the other, but I mean, that kind of, you know, yeah. Anyway, hold on here. Okay. Danny, I understand what you're trying to say here, but you know, I did see a comment that you made here, and I just want to bring this up because I personally can't speak to this as a white cishet dude, but maybe Saggy can. If you say maybe if minorities were smart enough to work together, things would get done, but no. I ain't gonna lie. That's oof.
So number one, assuming that minorities aren't smart, like that's kind of really ignorant to say. And number one, you have to remember that history has shown that life has literally worked against minorities for a long time to keep everyone divided, not just minority, like everyone divided. Okay, because what keeps the rich is the people who aren't rich fighting each other and not fighting them. So yeah, it would be nice if everyone, not just minorities, everyone got their shit together, and we could do that to work towards a better future. However, again, you have to remember the system for a long time has worked against minorities for a long time. So it's not like it's all minorities' faults, because again, look at where minorities were placed. Housing, Section 8 housing, projects, like minimum wage, under minimum wage. You know, they weren't handed a good dealt card. They come here thinking this country's free and they're gonna have the best lives, and it was the opposite. So again, it's not about just minorities being smart and work together. Everyone needs to be smart and work together. Because like I said, the rich are getting richer, keeping us divided, so we're not going after them.
Well, no, and I mean, I don't know if you're a gay black man, so I can't speak to that. But you know, that again, that's the kind of like troll defense I've seen, you know, from stuff. Anyway, McLeod says, I honestly don't know what about him anymore. I'm kind of on the same level as 75 YBA. He's becoming more and more of a ranting boomer comedian yearning for the good old days of comedy, just like Bill Maher. The thing is, though, you have to look at it like this. It's not that he is a boomer looking for the good old days of comedy. What he is doing is he's commenting on what he views society to be like. A comedian's job is much like a court jester. It really is. A court jester's entire position was to tell the king effectively the truth in a way that could be seen, can be understood by the king, and then not end with the jester being completely slaughtered. Because if a person came in and said this to the king would kill the guy, right? But the jester can get away with it. That's kind of the point of the comedian. Now, I understand that, like, the thing is also, and Dave said this theory, he talks about how sensitive people are and how it's like, how a lot of it is just online and it doesn't mean anything. And a lot of it is just over the top complaining to complain. You know what I mean? That's a big problem with and I agree with that 100%. As much as I want there to be progress and I want everyone to be equal and I want everything, you know, you can tell when someone says something and it ends up going through and just kind of, what's the right one to use here? People overdo it on social media, you know, and that ends up causing problems. People make up a bunch of claims and shit. Like, I mean, not related to like the subject of race or sexuality, but like back in 2018, when that woman went to YouTube and opened fire on the YouTube campus, somebody shared my photo saying I was the person who went there with a gun and shot up the YouTube headquarters. Obviously, it's not true. I was sitting at home playing an Xbox game when that went down, but people were claiming it. And then I got talked to by an LA Times reporter because they wanted, you know, to get my side of things, even though I was, like 1,200 miles away, 1,000 miles away, somewhere in there. You know, and that got picked up by Russia Today and a bunch of other outlets talked about it. And people then like were trying, you know, and then the next time there was a shooting, somebody tried doing it again, trying to make that same claim, you know, trying to put out there that I'm, you know, I know it's a meme. It's like the Sam Hyde thing, but it's like, that's what I'm talking about here. It's like social media is an absolute, is a thing. Now, Geek in Review makes a great point. It says, weird no one is talking about his stance on how the Me Too movement was more about image than change. That was a great point. Because what he was talking about was how the Me Too movement, when that happened in 2017, was more about serious. Anyone with an accusation laid against them was basically just like, it was a Salem witch trial. I mean, that's the best way to describe the Me Too movement in 2017.
After Weinstein, it became that, yeah.
Well, I mean, not only that, like the second person to get hit was Signor, and that was not true. Despite what you think of him as a person, because he's a terrible human being on so many levels. But on that, he didn't do it. That was made up. That wasn't real. But that still ran in the Hollywood Reporter. That still nuked his image for life, you know, despite it not being true. And then you get Kevin Spacey. And that was when he got called out. And then, you know, all this stuff happened with him. And then, you know, he's now trying to come back. And it's such a weird place to be. Like, look at Morgan Spurlock. Morgan Spurlock, the director of Super Size Me, was literally, when the Me Too movement happened, I just found this out last night. He was in the process of promoting Super Size Me 2, going after Big Chicken, which is actually a really interesting subject matter. And when the Me Too movement happened, he came out and he basically admitted to being unfaithful to his two wives, how he was accused of rape when he was in college, and how there was a sexual harassment lawsuit that he did settle out of court. He basically came clean, saying, like, people are going to come for me. I don't know when. Let me just bear my sins to you. And he was canceled. Sundance pulled out of the movie. for showing Super Size Me 2. They lost their distribution deal. The fallout actually from that was the chicken farm that was at the center of this documentary wanted to get the word out about how big chicken, like Tyson and other places, manipulate the market and bully small farmers. And because of the shield that the popularity of this movie would have had, they actually lost practically everything because of that. So there's collateral damage to Me Too movements. And it's true. Wearing a pin and going to an award show where you are effectively like clapping yourself on the back, like, oh my God, you guys, we're ending it, man. We're here, man. Don't you know? We're ending sexism, man. I got my fucking pin. I got my social media out here, people. They're taking snapshots. It's up on Insta right now, hashtagging it up. And then they go home or they go to a party and they talk about everything else under the fucking sun. They don't do shit the next goddamn day. That was what he was talking about, right? That is what he was talking about. He was talking about how, like, why didn't they go to their agents, to their agency, fire their agent, go find a young upstart woman, a female agent who's in like the mailroom or something, and then hire her to negotiate their future deals, to keep someone like that out of the pathway of maybe a Harvey Weinstein. That's what he was talking about.
It's true though. It's very true. Like I always say, I'll say it till I'm dead. The Me Too movement started off good. There were some things that need to be cleaned up in Hollywood, and I agree with that. But again, what happens with movements, like this is a life lesson here. What happens with all these movements when other people see that this works? They say, well, what else can we get now? What else can we do? Oh, hey, I don't like Matt Jarbo. He's a piece of shit. Oh, he touched me. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Saggy. It's funny you say that because that was the thing. So when I was 15, I was attending a church, and there was a girl there. Her name was Sonia. She was 13, and Sonia and I became friends. And she, at one point in time, asked me point blank. She calls me up one night. She goes, "Will you get me pregnant?"
Oh, I think.
And I was like, "Oh, hell no, hell no." I was 15. She was 13. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was nice about it. So I'm like, you want an infant. You want a baby because she worked in the church nursery. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you don't want like a toddler, a 2-year-old, a preteen. You don't
want to take me home, baby.
No, like, I'm like, you just want a kid because she worked around kids. You know, she was 13. She's going through puberty. It's like, you know, like, I mean, I get the mindset, you know, like, but it's like, no, whatever. And then when that happened, she got real mad at me for that, right? Because I turned her down. And so she started spreading all these rumors about me in church. And ultimately it resulted in me being asked to leave the church that I had been going to for a couple of years. And if you ever wonder why I very much am against organized religion, that is a massive factor. Because they never got my side of the story. It was pretty much because what it was is her family were Jehovah's Witnesses that were converted to Christianity from the pastor of the church. So there was like that, you know, whatever. And I was already kind of on the outs anyway at the time because I was being like me.
Yeah.
You know, and that can rub people the wrong way, I guess. But I never did anything, you know, and like what it was though. So and I told that story in 2013. And then when everything with me went down in 2018, people pulled that story back out. Then they took it and they reframed it and they tried to make it out to be like that I had sexually assaulted this girl. That I had forced myself upon her, that is why I was kicked out of church, that I was lying about what I had said happened, all of these things. And one person in particular who I will under no circumstances ever forgive at all, even after they are long and gone, I will fucking still harbor rage over this shit. Put that out in front of like 15,000 people on a live stream. Which then resulted in the speculation of it to cover her ass legally, whatever. But the speculation from that brought people into trying to contact local CPS to get my kid taken away because I was her primary care provider. I looked after her in the day. They tried doxing. They tried finding the woman in question because I gave her first name and the name of the church. They Googled it. They Facebooked it. They found 2 women, not her. They doxed them and tried talking to them and stuff like that. It was this whole mess of a situation.
That's weird.
All because they wanted to find something they could put on me that they could twist, and people believe it. And people to this day believe it.
Of course they do.
You know, and it's like, hell no. Like, I mean, not at all. And like, that's the whole shit with fucking cancel culture. That is like, that's why people have got to slow the fuck down. And like, they've got to like not run with it. And it's like, that's where, I mean, like, I'll get things wrong about people. That always happens. We do that. But it's like, in the case, let's say, of Andy Signor, I'll always defend him if that comes up. Always. Because I understand that it's not true. And it's like, I'm not going to let people sit there and like, you know, criticize him for things that he's done. Don't,
right.
You know, don't do whatever. Anyway.
But that happened also, by the way. I've canceled somebody at a church before, but he kind of deserved it. Like, he actually did something. Because my grandparents, big people in church, he slept over the house, my grandparents' house. And he slept in my uncle's room because my uncle's out. And I slept in the spare room. And I wasn't sleeping, but like sometimes if people come in, I don't want to like talk to you or whatever. I'll pretend to be sleeping. So I was pretending to be sleeping because he came in because he was bored. He was bored. He wanted company. But I was like, dude, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. So I was pretending to be sleeping. And then he came in and he was like doing this to me. And then when he realized I wasn't waking up, he shoved his hand down my shirt and grabbed my breast. And I was just like, did he really just do that? Or am I bugging? I was like freaking out because I'm like, did that just actually happen? Was that an accident? Like I after he took his hand out because I moved, he was like, oh shoot, she's waking up, and he was just like, hey, you want to watch some TV? I was like, no, I'm good, because I didn't know if I actually was. I was like in disbelief, so I was like, if he does it again, then I'm 100% catching him. So he came in and he did it again, but this time when his hand was here, I grabbed his arm. And I looked at him and was like, are you out of your mind? And he tried to run. Like, he was like, so this was like 3:00, but he was trying to leave. I blocked the door. I said, nope, you are staying here until my grandparents wake up. I told my grandparents. Last time I saw him, he was pretty upset with me. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be touching people in their sleep, dude. What the hell's wrong with you? And I did feel kind of bad. I did feel bad. Because like you said, well, that's why I was bringing it up. Because like when it comes to church, especially church, like that shit spreads around like wildfire. Like you want to talk about gossiping hens? The church is all about gossip. So everybody at that church knew what he had done. And I kind of, even though he was in the wrong, I did kind of feel bad because like that sticks with you for a while. And I mean, but you know, he shouldn't.
I mean, like it's all a thing where, I mean, look, there's like, I agree with the zero tolerance for sexual assault. I do. Right. I you know, because it's controllable in regards to like, you know, if you have an urge, go beat your meat someplace else is basically it. Like, don't do any, you know, it's in people who like hide behind that whole notion of like, you know, fuck off. Right. Like, right. You know, but in this case, like, again, we've been way off topic here because this was about movies and shit. But the idea here is like, look, Chappelle, I think, bringing it back. Chappelle, I think, is a kind of guy who's going to tell you exactly what he feels, and he's going to do it in a way that's going to get the biggest amount of attention. And that's why, again, kind of bringing this up here, looking at this article, saying, you know, he rallies against it, saying here, you know, he's like, if this is what canceled is being like, I love it. Well, I mean, to me, that's kind of a ridiculous statement to make, just because like he got paid like what, $250 million from Netflix to do like 5 specials over a couple of years, you know? So his version of being canceled is definitely one where you're like, it's you are affluent enough to where this is not going to impact your bottom line, you know?
Pretty much. He's not going to be impacted by any of this.
Yeah. And that's kind of the whole, point but I get it though. Again, the idea, the biggest thing here when it comes to cancel culture is to literally just kind of go, no. And like, just stop it dead in its tracks, because you only really will get the power if you allow them to take the power, really. And that's going to kind of be it. Now, you know, he says here, fuck Twitter, fuck NBC News, fuck ABC News, all these stupid ass networks. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you. This is real life. Yeah. You know, I mean, like, that's the whole point is like, he's going to come out there, he's going to do it, but they're also doing this, I think this like free speech or anti-cancel culture event or something like that here pretty soon. You know, and, but look, the thing is like, you have the woman here, Jacqueline Moore, the executive producer of Netflix's Dear White People, who said, that they were done working with the streaming giant. And, it's really one of those things. It's like, okay, I mean, if that's, you know, I would much rather you create a show that would then showcase transgender, you know, the oppression and their struggle in a way that is conversational and enlightening rather than just like closing the door on the people in Hollywood that are going to probably end up hiring you.
Right.
You know?
And here's the thing, like, lady, you already did the movie. I mean, you're replaceable. Like, I'm sorry, this sucks, but like, Netflix don't need you. They can hire somebody else. So bye.
Well, and that's kind of the whole point there too. It's like I think some people out there, they try to rally around the idea of just trying to be over, you know, they're just trying to over the top that shit, and they think that if they can, you know, make enough noise, they'll end up getting more.
Like,
I don't know.
Like maybe if you were Zack Snyder, that would be like, whoa, we can't lose Zack. But like, I'm sorry, like, Dear White People wasn't like, okay.
Well, it's, you know, I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to like downplay her talent. I don't know what her talent is.
Not,
you know,
I'm not downplaying her talent. I'm just saying, like, people in Hollywood are easily replaced. Like, it's not like anybody would like kill to have that position. So her saying she's leaving, it's like, okay, well, we have a bunch of applications that have been sitting on our desk. We can get another executive producer to do stuff for us. We don't care. Like, I have to say, the fact that people at Netflix don't know that Netflix backs all of their stuff, they backed Cuties. Okay? If you didn't cancel your Netflix subscription or quit Netflix because of Cuties, which to me is by far worse than anything Dave Chappelle said, then you are full of fucking shit.
It's all selective manufactured outrage. All right.
Right.
Like it is. It's all selective manufactured outrage. And that's actually kind of, I think, the theme of tonight's entire show that it's all, everything is selective manufactured outrage, which I want to get to. I want to jump on to the next topic, but we have a couple things to get through here. H Bart's here with $5, but he thinks, says, I'm here. Finally thought I would ask, how was your back? My back is fine. My back is fine, buddy. Thank you very much. I did think about you today though, because there is one of those Life magazines, like the Indiana Jones one, but it's Bond. It's like 50 plus years of Bond. I saw that today. I thought of you. No, my back is okay. It's at this point, it's just I finally got my damn medication again. So that's got me feeling a little bit better finally. All right, so I'm trying to catch up on some super chats here because you guys threw a couple out. Thank you so much for that. Fourth says, anytime you have suggestions to feminists like Sarkeesian to start their own game company, they always have reasons why that's not the right answer. Oh yeah, it's all about you know, the people out there that are just like that they don't want to lift a finger on that market. They just want to take things that are already created and then, you know, just kind of like glom onto that, you know. Listen, I don't really care for Tyler Perry movies, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not saying that they're bad. I've seen a couple, they're okay, but it's not something I actively go out and see. However, Tyler Perry very much was like, saw a market, okay, we need faith-based Christian films for the Black community that have humor and heart. And I'm going to make this movie. I'm going to do this Medea character, which, oh, by the way, in our current society, how the fuck has he not been canceled for being Medea?
Why?
Because there was a big thing about not having, having a man play a woman who is not a woman.
So Mrs. Doubtfire, Big Mama's House.
I love Big Mama's House.
I
love Big Mama's House.
But see, that's the point of having the men play the women characters, because it's like, it's funny. That's the point. Seeing a man dressed up as a woman playing an older woman it's funny.
But see, the thing is though, but they try. So for example, okay, as much of a fan as I am of Bob's Burgers, and I love Bob's Burgers.
Right.
There was a controversy a little while back. I forget what else, the whole thing that was going on. I need to look it up, but they were like,
Who does the voice of the mom?
well, the voice actor does the voice of the mom. Is a man.
Yes.
But not only that, so is the voice of Tina.
Yes.
And so is the voice of, quite frankly, almost every other female character on that show, with the exception of Linda's sister, who is voiced by Megan Mullally. And you've got Tammy, or you got Jocelyn, who's voiced by Jenny Slate. And because what it was Jenny Slate was playing a biracial character on Big Mouth, and she stepped down from the role, and that got a lot of other people talking. And then like Kristen Bell was playing a biracial character on Central Park, which is another show that's done by Lauren Bouchard.
I hate that. I hated when the dude who did Cleveland Brown left. I hated it when because I'm sorry, the people who replace these actors are shit. Because we're so used to hearing these actors' voice that unless these other people that replace them sounds just like them, it's not the same. I don't. They're fictional cartoon characters. Who cares? It's a voice. It's called acting. Like, oh my, they're not disrespecting characters based on their culture or whatever. I don't care.
Well, there are conversations to be had about that. And I think it all depends on like how it's done. So I'll give you guys like an example. When I was in high school, I was we were doing a play, and they wanted me to do the Simpsons comic book guy voice, right? Mm-hmm. For a part. Like they do like, worst movie ever. I can't do it very well. I don't know why I could never really do comic book guy. I can never really do it. Worst movie ever. I have to watch it. Maybe
okay. It was good.
It's not my best, but we were talking again. We were like 15, right? We were like 15, 16 years old, and we were talking, and they're like, "Well, can you do any other voices?" And I'm like, "I can do like Apu from The Simpsons, because like everyone at the time was doing Apu. Apu was massive, right?" It's like, "Thank you, come again," like that was like, "Oh no, Mr. Simpson." Like so it's like I am Apu Nasa Nahasa Peter Petalon. But I think it's like I love Hank Azaria, and I'm not trying to mock or mimic any, or make fun of whatever. And they were like, "Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And like, can you do that?" And I'm like, "Sure." So like they dressed me in like a turban, and they brought me out on stage, and I did it. And like, this was the 90s and shit. So it's like, it was like nowhere near, like PC culture had not hit. That would not be allowed today by any metric. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't remember why I said yes, but I think it was because like at that time you're like, well, I just want to like, I want to act. I like acting. Yeah. And I want to make people happy. So that's, I want to make people laugh. Maybe this make people laugh. I wasn't, and that's, I think how a lot of people go after these sort of parts. They just want to do a part. They want to act. The problem though, is that it ends up being this weird scenario where now it's become more political, where it's like, all right, we'll go look at the anime dubbing community. All these characters are based out of Japan, and they're practically all voiced by like a lot of white dudes, right? And a lot of white women. And no one says a thing about that. But when this whole thing came out with like, the biracial character not being voiced by a biracial person. And then with Bob's Burgers, they said, well, we have the character of Marshmallow, who's a trans woman, who we're going to she's not voiced by a trans woman. So now we're going to bring in a trans woman to voice her character. Ugh. I'm like, but wait, hold on. Tina's voiced by a man. Linda's voiced by a man. A lot of the female characters are voiced by men.
Right.
And I mean, like, it's so weird where that rule is, and it's so weird where that line is. Well,
you have to remember too, when Simpsons was a thing, we'll go back to Simpsons because Simpsons is probably the oldest one. Like, social media wasn't like this, and a lot of us didn't really know much. Like I can guarantee you, before like social media or before they actually came out, no one really knew who the voices were for Simpsons. Like, finding out that Bart Simpson was voiced by a woman was like, whoa, I was not seeing that coming. So like a lot of these voice actors, especially, no one knew who they were. There was no faces to them. We just were like, we watched it. The voices were there. We didn't care. It was entertaining. But now with social media, now that actors are more out there and open, and we have access to them to see who they are, see what they do. It's different. And then you're right, though. It does suck when it's like when people like change the rules up. Like, oh no, it's okay for a dude to voice a woman, but we got to have a trans woman.
Yeah.
So it's like
I believe in meritocracy. You know, I believe in meritocracy. Like it all really depends on who's right for the role. You know, like, and the thing is, when it comes to entertainment, the entertainment industry is literally the only industry where they can legally discriminate. You know, and that's true. Because if you're like, I'm going to go in and read for this 78-year-old Vietnamese American, and I'm me, that's not going to fly. You know, I could give the most nuanced take ever. I could come out there and I could nail it as soon, you know, whatever. I could do it. And then they'd be like, no, but that's not going to work out very well, you know, but I don't even have an answer for it. Like, I'm not suggesting that, you know, it's up to each production, but I think people need to realize that, Hollywood is like, it's entertainment. And I will always have more respect for people. This is why, as much as I dislike Comicsgate for their politics, and I know that Comicsgate does not come through on everything. There's a lot of issues there, but they saw a market similar to Tyler Perry seeing a market of like, this is a, like, look at PureFlix, you know, or all those Christian films that come out. They see a market of people who want a very specific thing, so that they're not getting from the mainstream. So they go in and they create that market, and then they profit off of that market because people want it. And that's a lot of what it boils down to here. It's just like, I have more respect for those people because they go, I see something that needs to be done or that can be done. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fucking do it. You know, rather than just sitting back and like bitching and moaning on social media, like so many of these people do.
Right. And then, you know what's funny? Sorry to cut across you, but like while you're talking, I was looking up, like, I was looking up, like, I know Jared Leto did a role where he played a transgender woman. I watched Sons of Anarchy, where I remember an actor who also was born a male and played a transgender woman. And you know,
Walter Goggins. Oh, yes. Man, his character was great though.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
He nailed, like, the fact that the end of that series had Tig, like the most racist, homophobic character on that show, like in the first couple of seasons, hooking up with the trans man or the trans woman, was like so weird. It's like, it was such a, like, but it worked for the story. It did. It really did. You're like, oh, Tig found love. Such a weird thing to say.
I know, right?
But I love Sons of Anarchy, by the way.
Yes, I do too. But my point is saying that is, like, I was looking it up, and then I saw the articles where it says, don't applaud Jared Leto's performance. And I'm just sitting there like, but why not? I applaud any cisgender straight man going into a role, because to me, especially since Jared Leto really gets into his characters. We know that from his portrayal, his portrayal of Joker when he was getting ready for that. Jared Leto really does his research and really dives into what he's doing when he's acting. And I think having actors portray characters that they don't represent is a way for them to get a better understanding for the culture. So I think when it comes to transgender, they should really be embracing cisgender males or cisgender females that are straight playing these roles, because it gives them a better understanding of the lifestyle, how hard it is, the struggles, because they have to research, they have to get into the role. Why would you like shun those people or make them feel like what they're doing is wrong? You want more people to be educated on your struggles. So why would you be mad at Jared Leto?
Well, okay. So the people who get mad about that, and you're right. You're right. I also think though, that it's kind of like the question that was asked of Daniel Craig. What do you think about a female Bond? And I'm saying, why not just write a strong character for a woman to play? You know, the big problem is that we are living in a world now in mass entertainment where everything is IP driven. You know, like everything is IP driven. And that ends up, actually, there's a clip about that I was sent today that I actually really, it fits in so well right here. Let me bring this up because it's current Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, talking about IP. And it's really fascinating because it does, again, show you precisely why. Okay, hold on here. Because okay, let me bring this up. Okay. So this is what he has to say. It's only a few seconds. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Okay.
Is that Mr. Clean?
That is Mr. Clean. That is currently the Bob Chapek CPU, but he's in Canto Bite.
Oh.
He's in Canto Bite. All right. This is what he has to say.
Because if any of our competitors had our intellectual property, guess what they would be doing? The exact same thing they're doing. We're doing, but they don't have it, and we do. Because if any of our competitors...
So what he's saying there is if any of our competitors had the IPs that we have, they'd be doing the same thing we're doing. All right. Now, the reason why this comes in line with right now is because this whole situation is, again, everything is IP driven. So they want people to go see movies like Marvel movies and Star Wars and Harry Potter and everything else. And they don't want to deviate too much because then that might alienate the general audience of people. I mean, remember when like Rey for Star Wars, it was all like, it's a black stormtrooper. There was a lot of pushback about Finn at first. And there was a lot of pushback about Rey. And it's all like, okay, like we haven't seen the movie yet, you dinguses. And guess what? People liked Finn in the first movie and they liked Rey. Well, I mean, I liked Rey in all three movies, actually. But people were attacking and attacking and attacking. And so you can't win on any way you play it, but it's like these companies, they don't fucking care because it all boils down to like, how much money can they make? And so if you want that kind of representation, then what you have to do is you have to get up there and make it and then keep fighting to get it in front of other people. You can't, the problem is that a lot of these activists, and this is from the internet age, this is from like the instant gratification society that we live in now. They want it handed to them. They just want it fucking handed to them. How many people out there want, they're up, like they want YouTube success without putting in the fucking work because they want it handed to them. So you know what they do though, Saggy? They follow that mindset, right? I think even Chappelle touched upon this too, talking about the incentivization of it all. Maybe I was listening to something else tonight. No, I was listening to something else tonight. Not Chappelle. Sorry. Talking about like, the people who go down those rabbit holes, like the people, like let's say the Fandom Menace that attack everything Star Wars related, they attack whatever they can because they want, it's follow the path of least resistance. There's incentivization to keep doing it. And it almost has unlimited potential for very little actual effort. And that's a lot of the online activism stuff. It's just, I'm going to fire off a tweet while I sit in a Starbucks and I sip a fucking latte. And that's my activism for the day while I go back to my $800, $900 cell phone that I'm going to rally against capitalism on. That's basically about it. Anyway, we are this whole thing has gone crazy. I do want to get to this one here from McLeod, man. I'm sorry. I know it's a little bit late. Saying here, so you would say the same of QAnon co-opting the hashtag Save the Children movement to blindly dogpile over Netflix and cuties and believe the so-called list of lefty celebs that were in cahoots with Epstein. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know if you're talking to, like, I don't know if you're talking to Saggy or not on that one. QAnon co-opting hashtag Save the Children is very ridiculous. I mean, they do it. I've seen it. And people went to high school with are now into that shit. And that's really fucking weird, but I wouldn't say, the people who dogpiled over cuties, it was just like, that was a little bit, I don't know. I think that's a little bit different because what you're talking about is the sexualization of children,
right?
And that is not, and if you think of a child in a sexually explicit position and that makes you go, right? That is the right position to hold. I'm sorry. Right. That's my take on it. Right. Don't think I'm alone on that front.
Right. And that's what I said. Listen, I understood the message that was supposed to be told in that story. Okay. However, the way it was portrayed was disgusting. I don't think I need, or many people on this planet need, a movie to tell us that sexualizing children is wrong. If you think you needed a movie to tell you that, then there's more problems going on with you, and you should probably, I'm not going to say it because we're on a stream, but let's just say it involves a little metal thing that you can stick in your mouth. Anyways, overall, my point is, like, people were upset with cuties. Netflix stood by it because of its it won awards or whatever. Again, the story, it had a good moral story. It was just the way it was pushed. The scene with them dancing, it was not okay. And
if they would have focused the story on the girl rebelling against her parents and her religion and her upbringing and her world, rather than the like, hey, we've got 4 girls that are dancing provocatively, like
in skimpy outfits, like they were twerking. And here's the thing: Queen Danny says Cuties was not what people were making out to be at all. Okay, again, we got the message, what it was supposed to do. You could have told that same story without having minors, like literally, like what were they, 8, 9, 10-year-old girls in provocative clothing twerking. Like I could pretty much live the rest of my life without having to see that. Thank you. That was the big point. Like nobody cared about what the movie was about. Like we got it. Just that the way it was shown, the things they had those girls do in those scenes, it wasn't okay. That's what people were mad at.
Well, so let me ask you this just as because like I get what McLeod here is saying. Okay, if you dogpile it without knowing the context, without actually watching the film to form an opinion, you're an idiot. Now, I do say that you should watch to get an informed position. What bothers me about Cuties is I saw the scene with them dancing, and it just turned me off. If like it just turned me off from even wanting to go and experience that art in any capacity. I have 2 daughters, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. Like no, when you're a parent, it alters that shit. Like it's just, I don't want to have that. No, you just don't want to see it. Now, this is the other side of that too, where you're trying to be, I get what he's saying. And it's like, I think you can get the context potentially without watching it 100%. If you like maybe read the plot outline on Wikipedia or watch maybe a few reviews, it might give you some kind of an idea on it. But again, I get it. It's just, that's kind of where I draw the line though, is on,
Well, I was going to add to that by saying it started off with the promotional image that was on Netflix where, and I saw it and a lot of people saw it. The promotional image, the thumbnail, you could call it, of that movie was the girls from that dance scene in the skimpy clothes and sexual suggestion poses. That was the first issue. When you look at the original poster for the movie that the French had out, it wasn't even that scene at all. It was just the girls in a silhouette just walking down the street, fully clothed, like nothing. So that was the first controversy that got people talking about, like, why is there a recommendation of a movie of these children in these skimpy clothes and suggestive poses? That was the first controversy. Then people started watching the movie and then saw the dance scene that was part of that poster. It was like, ooh, what the hell are you doing, Netflix? And that was why a lot of people...
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God, I can't even look at it.
Well, I'm just saying, because this is like, no, but for context, okay? So Melonz, whatever the French title for the film, is not the Cuties. I mean, like, so when we talk about a media marketing influencing, I'm just going to pull it off screen. It's just for context. You guys have seen it. We can move on. There was, so for the, so it's like for the American release of that, they stirred controversy on purpose.
Right.
And I think it worked because it was like, it was in the top 10 for a couple days. People were talking about it. We're still talking about it. Right. I don't know. It's something where it's like, if I'm a hypocrite for not watching it and judging it, then I will take that L on that one. But it's also like, why can I ask Netflix but then again, see, this is the thing. If I were to ask Netflix, can you guys please edit the movie in a way where your main core storyline is represented, but that shit is like cut the fuck out?
Right.
Like, can you pure flicks this shit for me? Right. Sort of thing. Like, and I feel bad saying that because I do rampantly despise like studio interference and like the censoring of art. So it's very difficult. It's a very tough conversation. It is a very awkward conversation because like you have principles, but at the same time, it's like there's a visceral, guttural reaction to what you're watching. And it just, what are you going to do on that front? That's basically where I'm at with it, which is
McLeod, like real talk. Like we know this, we know it won festivals, which is why Netflix stood by it. Cool. But again, if you need a movie to explain to you why sexualizing children is wrong, then there is something more wrong with your brain than you need to get help. because I don't think anyone needs a movie to tell you that you should not look at children in a provocative way. That's why I'm getting mad, because you keep saying, like, we get the message. The first French poster that Matt showed that was on the left side of the screen, if that was the image used for the promotional for us, maybe that movie on the left looks like it has a message to it. The movie on the right, the poster on the right, what is that? That's disgusting, and nobody wanted to see it.
Everyone looks uncomfortable, like they're sex trafficked into that image. I just don't like the poster,
gross, right?
or the marketing. Like, I watched the trailer, and okay, let me understand. Let me like. I also do not like cheerleading competitions for young girls.
Yes, I don't like them either.
I don't like. I've always been against it. I just feel like it's exploitative. I feel like it's just. I mean, like, no, cheerleading is very, very athletic. It is a sport, in my opinion.
But they can wear better clothes.
They can wear better clothing, and they don't need to go all dolled up, and they don't need to, it's like when we put, I don't want, we almost kind of fetishized Honey Boo Boo for a while in this country, a 6-year-old girl whose mom doped her up on sugar pixie sticks and everything else to go out there and to make a splash as a pageant queen, ended up being so disgusting to people when they saw it that they gave it a fucking show. Like our culture, when it comes to these sort of things, we love watching train wrecks, which is what I think ultimately the Netflix marketing team was wanting to go for. They were wanting to make something out to be so abhorrent that people would go and see it. But again, it may have had, I'll tell you this, I think more people watched it than will admit, but I am not lying when I say I did not watch it.
I had to, because I wanted to cover it. I didn't want to watch because I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. So I figured somebody did a video or something. So I just looked up YouTube and like the controversial scenes of Cuties, like the ones that everyone was talking about. Just because I was curious before I decided if I was gonna watch the movie or not, how controversial. That's what I did. And the first thing that popped up was the dance scene, and I was like, all right, let's see how bad this is. And I'm telling you, I was so uncomfortable. I was like, listen, no, you should not have. I don't want to feel uncomfortable to hear a message. Again, if you need a movie to tell you that you need to be uncomfortable watching this, I'm sorry. Then I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't need a movie to tell you that. That's like common sense. Don't look at children like that.
Yeah. There's a whole conversation to be had on that. We've clearly done a lot. And I don't want to run. Here's the thing. We can disagree on this one, but don't think I'm not thinking any less of you. I'm not thinking any less of anybody who's watched it. It's not like that. It's just like, it's just maybe the older I get, the more boomery I become or whatever. It's just, that's where the mindset is. I respect and value art, especially art that makes me think, because I like art to make me think. The art that they were going for in Cuties is one where it's like, it's two-pronged. It's the issue of children under Islam and living in those strict environments, which I find to be very fascinating. And then the subject of the rebelling against that lifestyle to go into the far extreme with whatever the fuck that dance shit was.
Well,
and
no,
so that's
also was about like how influencers or like online stuff affect young girls.
Was that part of it too? See,
yeah,
I don't know. Okay. But the thing is, like, after this week with the testimony from Facebook, talking about how Facebook is fully aware that Instagram damages young girls' body image, and we know that. That's, I mean, but it's not even Instagram. Like, for fuck's sake, dude, Cosmo. You know what I mean? Like, what, the Teen Cosmo, Teen Bop, all that other teen magazine fucking shit, right? That's all influenced girls' body images for years. This pumps it into their eyes digitally. That's a lot of what happens with this stuff now. But it's not uncommon. It's known about, and so we're talking about that now. So that might be something. Like, it could be that, you know what, 20 years down the road, like there's a Cuties revival, and it ends up just going, like, comes out of this massive, like, underrated gem, and we all misunderstood it. I don't see that happening.
Did you mention something about the kids were on the actors were exploited? Because I know I didn't, so I don't know what McCall's talking
okay,
about.
so what I mean,
said that here.
What I mean by that is like the poster for the American version, right? Yeah. With them in the dance, you know, if you look at their faces, the girls' faces, they don't look like they are comfortable. They look, and then maybe, and again, That is most likely the compelling point of the film, is that them in those situations, they don't want to actually be there, but they feel like they have to. And again, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know the context. I'm merely giving my take. That's what I'm talking about. Like the feeling I get looking at that image is one of exploitation.
I just think they should have went the other poster.
I think they should have gone with the first poster.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever. And also the way they cut that first trailer, I was like, you know,
yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. I was like, you know what? Because here's the thing: when it came to the movie, this is honestly the most I've talked about Cuties. I chose to not cover it. I think I talked about a little bit when it was coming out. I chose to not go into it. I just was like, I don't want to. There are certain things I don't want in my brain. I like seriously. There are certain things I just do not want in my goddamn brain. And that kind of shit is literally one of them. Like I can watch all the true crime documentaries in the world, but that shit just turns me the fuck off. Like I don't want that, you know?
Right.
And it's just because sex trafficking is a massive problem.
It is. Yeah.
You know, I worry about like, you know, I honest to God worry about my children. Like, you know, like cause sexual assault happens like what 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted is I think the statistic from RAINN, and how many more don't actually report. You know, so it's like being the father of 2 girls. It's like, I'm, you know, okay, what can I do to make their life better? You know what I mean? Like, what can I do to make their life, their existence more manageable? You know, like I want to teach them self-defense. I want to teach them karate. I want to teach, you know, like, how to defend themselves, how to protect themselves, how to understand people and how to turn people down, to talk themselves out of situations. You know, because you can't always rely on having the physical strength to maybe get out of something, but you might be able to navigate your way out by being able to talk to people. And that's another factor, you know, like de-escalation tactics, things like that. But I worry. And then I worry how mad I would get as a parent. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. And then it's like, you know, what do you do in that moment? Like, how do you, because you can't always protect your kids. That's the whole point. You can't protect your kids forever. Like right now they're so young. Like all I do is look after them, you know?
Right.
And it's like, even tonight before, I'll give you an example. Like I was getting ready to go out driving and I gave the girls their bath, their Sunday night bath. And my daughter, my 3-year-old comes over and she climbs up on my lap and she's like, happy birthday, Daddy. I'm like, well, it's not my birthday for a few more months. She's like, can you sing happy birthday? I'm like, okay. So I sang happy birthday to her and she's like, do it again. And I said, all right, sing it again. And she's like, do it for mommy. So I sang it for mommy. And then she'd do it for, you know, the other baby. And so I did it. She's like, Daddy, do it again for me. Do it again for me. You know? And so it's like, all I'm doing is I'm sitting there with my kid and I'm just singing her happy birthday. But she's like, she has this look on her face. The most precious fucking look I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen my kid look at me like this way before. And she's just got this smile and you can tell that she just like loves me with all of her heart. And all I want to do is protect her. And all I want to do is make sure she's fucking happy. Her and my other daughter, obviously, you know, and we spend so much time together. That's the kind of point. Right. So it's like, when I look at a movie like this, I don't look at it as like, it's challenging my dad brain versus my artist brain. And honestly, the dad brain wins. And I don't feel bad for it winning. I don't feel bad for it taking precedent on that. Can I
pause? I'm sorry. I just want to make this clear. McLeod, no one called you that. Dad, I'm sorry that happened to you, but no one called you that. So you need to chill because no one was calling you that. We are having a discussion, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you, Matt. But like I saw that comment, I was like, no one said that to you. And
yeah, no, buddy. I love you to death, man. Like no.
Nobody.
No. It's a hot topic conversation.
Right.
It's very much that kind of conversation to make. It's a tough one to have. You are challenging and I'm coming back and we're coming back and that is discourse.
Yeah.
No, I don't think any less of you.
No,
not at all. Not at all, man. I'm so sorry you feel that way. In fact, I want to move on from this topic.
Yeah. Let's do
because there is that one there. And because I don't want, because again, it can go far enough to where you're like, you know,
right. Like, yeah, I just want to make that clear though. That's why I had to cut you off. Cause I'm like, no one was going to, if anyone thinks that, I will personally stand up for you because no one was going to think that at all.
No, I'm so sorry. It's not, we're discussing it. It's a one-sided discussion. No, not at all, buddy. Not at all.
Not at
So
all.
I apologize if you felt that way. If I made you feel that way, I apologize. If either of us
talk about me, I made him feel that way, not you.
Well, it's not. No. You're always welcome here. Everyone's welcome here. I want to have a very open environment.
That's why
here.
I wanted to call it out because I'm like, I wanted to make it clear. Like I was not even going even close to that to call it, like not even close, McLeod. You're fine. I appreciate the back and forth, and like I said, you brought some good points. But again, I was not trying to come for you. So.
All right. So okay, we're good on that. I just want to make sure we're good.
Yes, we're good.
All right. So see here, we got Jess here with the $5 super chat, buddy. Thank you. Says, do you think this is a ploy from the left to lower the standards to get acting gigs? This is 20 minutes ago. What we were talking about. No, I don't think the lower. Oh, talking about like the changing up stuff, or like the who can play what character. No, it's not so much lowering the standard. It really is like, look, it's you gotta understand, like so much stuff is made. Right? Like so much, like so many movies are made that you'd never see because they either go to streaming or they go to like Redbox or Blockbuster or whatever. A lot of TV shows on networks you don't even fucking have. You know, there's a lot of things that are made. So it's not that acting gigs, like the standards are lowering. It's just like there's so much content that these companies feel like they need to just keep cranking it out. And with that becomes a quality loss, I think. So there's that, but it's that's what I think. If I'm wrong on your point there, please correct me.
Correct him anyways.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Fourth here for $5 money. Thank you. It says you can judge a film's trailer, the good or bad. Trailers are meant to convey an idea. You can reject an idea based on the trailer's supplements. I mean, sure, I get what you're saying, but there are times where like a trailer has been so god awful that it was nothing like the movie. That's true. And there's times where the trailer is so good and it builds up your expectations so much that the movie can never actually live up to that.
And but I see trailers that are just the movie.
And studies have proven that people actually like that, which is just really weird for me. But yeah, so no, I get what you're saying there. I think again, the marketing on that movie, not to go back into that combo, but just the point I'll make is this, and then we'll move on. The marketing was botched. They clearly tried to stoke outrage. It worked. I don't know if it worked for them or against them. I would assume because they doubled down on it that it worked for them. And then here's the thing, everyone moved on because that's how this works. It's like, it's just flavor of the day. We move on to the next thing to get mad about. And that is that. Cause a lot of us still have our Netflix. A lot of us still have our, our Disney Plus, Anyway, Moisture for $10, buddy. Thank you. Says, I hate to play devil's advocate, but couldn't one argue that the uncomfortable nature of movies like Joker didn't need to be made to tell us mental health is an issue? I don't think you're necessarily wrong on that. Movies like Joker were made to reach a wider audience. And movies like Cuties were made to serve, I think, against, or to be a commentary on the culture predominantly from within France. All right. Like, because that is where it was set. That is where it was, the world was built around. There's a large Islamic population in Paris. So there are elements there but it was very localized. Even though Islam is, I think, the second or biggest religion in the world. I forget which one has more billions of people. So I don't know. But when it comes to Joker was a movie that I think like I think Warner's wanted to do a villain centric film, but they needed to also, it's very difficult to make a villain the protagonist. Mm-hmm. Right. Cause it's like, this is a person who would like shoot a puppy to get a point across. So how do you make the audience empathize with that person? Well, you give them mental health problems. Yeah,
that was the biggest controversy there. I don't think it's necessarily like mental health is uncomfortable. I think at this point it's pretty common. So I don't think it's more of an uncomfortability aspect. I think the issue that Joker had was that they were basically saying that it's okay that he's a murderer. He's mentally ill. Let's empathize with it. I think that was what I kept seeing being talked about, is that people are saying that they're glorifying mental health issues or mental health and saying that people who have mental health issues, like the conditions he have, are going to go out and start murdering people. I think that was a huge thing. And then people were saying, oh, you're trying to make this villain the hero and he's a killer. And that was like a huge, big mess. mess.
Well, I mean, like the idea there is, one where when it comes to Joker is a kind of person who clearly has problems, and he's been let down by the system repeatedly. And the system has always fucked him over. And then when he needs it, when he needs mental health and he needs his prescriptions. And the thing is, when we talk about healthcare in this country, it's a broad terminology, but it doesn't include dental and it doesn't include optics, right? Vision or mental health. I had to get new prescriptions. I had to go spend $90 just to get a new prescription. Just a prescription. Yeah. And then I ordered these from China because they were, I like them. I like the brand. I like the company. But it's like Zanny Optical, baby. Fuck yeah. But now because I have diabetes, they want me to get new prescriptions every year. That's a lot of fucking money.
And they don't give it to you for free.
So, I mean, I have full health coverage through the state. I know I can get my prescription. I don't know about glasses. Thankfully, I don't know how I qualified in Washington, but it's like, you fucking no idea how much of a lifesaver that is. Because all my medication is all covered by the state, which is fantastic. And that's the whole point is like, again, my quality of life is in a position to where I can work on it really well. But it's a place where, the state is helping out with that. And it's why, again, like the Joker wouldn't happen to me because I'm covered. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. But it's like other people out there who don't have that, I guess, privilege or that luck. They could find themselves in a position to where Arthur Fleck could happen to them, where it's just they've been dicked around. But also the problem with Arthur was he was dicked around by the system, but he was also systematically lied to by his mother. And that delusion that came from that was really the breaking point. And that again has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people don't know how to be fucking parents. Let's be fair. And they do things they want to protect their kids from, or they want to protect themselves. We're complicated individuals. We're vastly complicated individuals. And not everything's going to work for everybody. And it ends up being a massive problem, I think, at times. But anyway, I have to get to bed here pretty soon because I have to take the kid to school in the morning. All right, let me just make sure I caught up here. Thank you for that, Moisture. I appreciate that, buddy. Okay. And, all right, Shogun here says, I think people like Joker because it's sort of a snuff film. As far as I understand snuff films. No, a snuff film is where you watch somebody die. Right? Like, for example, yeah. Have you ever seen, the first Twilight movie, I think is a snuff film. Yeah. Because if you watch it, you want to die. No, I'm kidding. But watch them. Okay. And back in like 97, 98, there was a Nicolas Cage movie that came out called 8mm. Watch 8mm. That's a good movie for one. But it's a snuff film is a film like, let's say like, you like fucking Saw movies are kind of, they're horror porn or they're torture porn type films. But the concept there is like, if you film somebody and then you shoot them, that's a snuff film. Right. And so it's Joker is not really about that. I think people liked it because it allowed them to experience some angle of mental health problems and, but from a safe perspective or from a safe place. Additionally, the media hype surrounding the movie, the hyperbole, the hysteria surrounding Joker was a massive problem. And that only spurred people's going. And they wanted to then kind of, I think, go and test it to see whether or not they would survive, if that makes sense. Because when I went, I was like one of like 3 people in my theater and the cops are like outdoor or outside, in case somebody came to my theater, tried killing me and shit. Anyway, thank you for that, man. And then we got McLeod here for 5 says, you guys are cool. Also, I'm sorry. The autistic objective side of my brain gets into garbage situations. Dude, it happens to me all the time. Don't even worry about it.
No, you're fine. Like I said, McLeod, I was like, whoa, I would never say that to somebody. Like I said, it wasn't that deep for me. I get I'm a kitty,
it's a touchy subject, dude. We're all good. We're all good, my guy. We're all good.
I'm a kitty, meow.
I don't even know if this is like supposed to be a fun chat and turned into this like massively deep conversation.
It's my fault because I
no, it's
brought
all
up
right.
the movie.
But that's okay. That's okay. And then Rational here. Sorry, I missed this, buddy. Says John Oliver just dropped the video on misinformation. And I can't wait to watch it. I watched it in the morning. John Oliver last week tonight on HBO Max.
Oh.
Yes. I like that pale faced limey bastard telling me how my country's wrong. No, okay. I like John Oliver. I do like John Oliver quite a bit.
Right, and it's evil.
All right, let's see here. TW here says, I interpret a snuff film as where there is an actual death on set that is intentionally filmed. It's a death that is filmed intentionally, you know. What really fucked with me was like, and this is like the one that like I've seen some shit on 4chan over the years, but one of them was a film where two cartel guys killed a woman with a machete. And that really fucked me up because I still like, you hear it. It's the sound, so like that kind of shit will fucking stay with you. That's why I don't like to look at that kind of crap anymore. It's like, it just stays in your brain. Like Two Girls, One Cup. It just gets in like a worm. Oh shit. You should watch it, Saggy.
Watch what?
Two Girls, One Cup.
I've seen it. That's why I'm looking at you funny.
Have you seen Goatsy?
Yes, I have. So
okay.
Fun story about Two Girls, One Cup real quick. I don't have a weak stomach. Like my mom literally has thrown up in my hair and I literally laughed my butt off. I don't have a weak stomach at all. So I usually can handle gross stuff. But for some reason, Two Girls, One Cup really did it for me. So I made it a challenge for myself to get through that video without gagging. And I had to watch it over and over and over until I was numb from it, until I could watch it without throwing up. I had to challenge myself because I'm like, dude, I took pride in the fact that I can look at the nastiest stuff and still eat at the same time. But Two Girls, One Cup killed it for me. And I was like, nope, we have to break this. We have to break it. So
gotta break the conditioning. Gotta break the conditioning.
Yeah.
Benson here with £5, buddy. Thank you. Says, people worried about Hollywood dumbing down. Could you get any dumber than the biggest star being an ex-wrestling roid head who will run for president? Ooh.
Talk about Arnold?
No, he's talking about The Rock.
Oh, The Rock is trying to run for president?
Well, he talked about it before. I actually didn't realize that The Rock had actually done steroids.
I believe it.
Oh, he admitted it. And when he was younger, he's like, when I was younger, I did steroids. And it's all like, my buddy, who's a bodybuilder, like posted a picture of The Rock and is all like, when you were younger. Mm-hmm.
So methinks Benson was not a fan of The Rock's line on that rap track.
What was up with that rap track too? That was like, I listened to like a segment of it tonight, and it's all like, look, dude, stick with Moana, all right? Let Lin-Manuel Miranda write your tracks, okay? He can make you throw down some bars, all right? Your Welcome is still a lit jam. I don't know what the fuck I listened to with this stuff.
He started strong, so I was like, okay, Rock, and then he lost me immediately after. Like the first line was like, all right, that was kind of fire, and then everything else was like, that was not Fast and Furious, Rock. You need to not know.
Yeah. Here. We'll play this real quick. And then we'll quickly do the Kotaku article, so I don't feel like I misled anybody with
He's misled you all because of me. It's my fault.
It's all right. I had like a latte earlier tonight, so I'm kind of awake anyway.
A latte keeps
I had a latte. Yeah, you know why? Don't even talk. Okay.
I drink these religiously.
Hold on. Let me just look that up real quick. Okay. Mountain Dew Amp. All right. Mountain Dew Amp caffeine milligram.
Just ask me. I have
What's
the
it got?
things right here.
What's
bro.
it got? Okay. How many? Oh, okay. A total 16-ounce can has 142 milligrams of caffeine. All right. 142 milligrams. You know what a Venti blonde latte has in it? 450 milligrams of caffeine.
Listen, mind your business.
Literally 3 cans of that shit to get the same kind of oomph I get from that coffee bean roast coming out my rear fucking end. All right. So yeah, you want to sit there, drink that Mountain Dew fucking chemical assisted shit. Go get a fucking latte. Blonde latte.
It doesn't have to make me poop.
You know what? Are you kidding me? The coffee like lubes your asshole and then like it just slides right out. So it's all like, you know, it's like skabloosh. Done.
Why do you have to say it like that?
Cause
it lubes your asshole.
Because you're just like, cause think about it. Like, otherwise it just, you know, gets in there and just gets constricting and shit. Anyway, The Rock.
I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, here we go.
Y'all need Jesus.
Y'all need Jesus.
All right, let's see how bad this clip is.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Like in some more in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I change the game, so what's my motherfucking name? What they gonna get though? Desecration, defamation. If you wanna bring it to the masses, face to face, now we escalating. When I have to butt boost the asses, mean on ya. Like a dream when I'm rumbling, you're gonna scream, mama. So bring drama to the king, Brahma. Come at you with extreme mana. Don't take your face off.
Okay.
He had it at first, and then you see how he lost it.
He had it there. Yeah, it's like, it's not me, ladies and gentlemen. It's The Rock is God. I am Bane now here to tell you about things.
Yeah, in the beginning, he started strong, and then after that, he was like...
Yeah, he got some good bars there. He had some good bars there and stuff, and then it just kind of got a little bit on the weird side.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, all right, man. I mean, like, I guess The Rock is trying to do everything. You have to love that he's like, I'm over 50. He's got a bucket list like shit that I haven't done yet. You know, like rapping, starting my own franchise, running for president. Anyway, we got McLeod here with another $5 Canadian super chat, buddy. Thank you. He says, y'all need some of our kind of socialist healthcare here in Canada. It's not perfect. For the most part, you won't pay an arm and a leg to pay those bills. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know people like to bring up the subject about like, can we do the universal healthcare? Because you can't call it socialized healthcare anymore. But the universal healthcare that Canada has for its citizens. I'll just say this. The entirety of Canada, the population of Canada, fewer people than California. Like overall, like the population of Canada is like about what, 12, 13% of the population of the United States. So it's like, it is a little bit on the different side in regard, you know, the population size kind of matters. But because my mom was born in Canada, by the way, happy Thanksgiving yesterday to Canadians. They had their Thanksgiving yesterday. I think I can qualify for dual citizenship. So if I ever like really need to get the fuck out the country, man, like I'm just going to I'll just go to Canada. I'll be like, what's all this about? Play hockey? Oh, yeah, go out there, you fucking knob, you wanker.
Why do you sound like, what the hell?
I don't know. It's hard to do that. I haven't done the Wisconsin in a while. Like, okie dokie, artichoke.
No, so this is my hot take on that for the night. I think overall, anyone who has diabetes, you know, HIV, anything that needs medication to live should be free. Like legit. I think anyone who has a condition that literally will kill them if they don't take medication, that medication should be free. Diabetics should not have to pay for friggin' insulin or anything like that. That's bullshit. Like that stuff keeps them alive. Like, why isn't that shit not free?
Thankfully, I'm only a type 2, so I only need the pills. So I don't need to go well, it is, you know, with under my healthcare plan at least. But then again, though, because it's so backed up, if I want to go to the doctor, I have to schedule an appointment literally like 2 months out.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you should, if you have a condition that could literally kill you, that shit should just be free. I don't know why, you know, like I tell everybody, listen, unless I'm dying, don't take me to the hospital.
Well, what was a Canadian thing then? It was a Canadian holiday.
What?
Not Thanksgiving?
Wow, you got it wrong. Hold on. Canadian.
Whatever.
Holiday.
Whatever. All right. Let's stop talking about The Rock and start talking about some Metroid. How about that, right? Because there's a lot going on. Some Kotaku. All right, let's talk about Crapku.
Kotaku again? Oh god, what did they put out this time?
So there is a game that just came out, right? It's called METROID DREAD. It's a new Metroid game. I believe somebody was saying it like in my Discord, like, oh, Matt's gonna probably live stream it. I'm like, I wasn't planning on getting it right away, But if people want to buy it for me, sure, why not? And I saw Jess like, who wants to put in a collection? I'm just putting that out there. Because I'm a whore. So anyway, this article popped up on, yesterday on Kotaku saying Metroid Dread is already running on Switch emulators 1 day or only days after its release. The latest entry in Nintendo's Classics franchise is running in 4K using an emulator. And people were pissed about this, Saggy. They were pissed about this. You know why?
Why?
Because you won't find it in this article right here, but beforehand, this is what the end of the article was. This has been removed, saying if you want to play the rest of the Metroid franchise and don't want to shell out large amounts of money for old consoles and games, your best bet is also emulation. As is often the case, Nintendo, like most game publishers, is really bad about maintaining access to their past games outside of the few big sellers. Thank God for pirates, emulators, modders, and hackers. Now, a lot of people lost their shit over this because they were saying here that Kotaku is basically coming out saying, hey, pro piracy. And they kind of are, to be fair. All right. They kind of are, to be fair. But at the same time, there's a point to be made there with this. And that is Nintendo is really, really good at reselling you shit you've already purchased, and shutting down a lot of like the archive stuff. But then again, people do hide behind archiving as fucking piracy. You know what I mean? They hide their piracy behind the concept of archiving. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go download Black Widow on download the file for Black Widow. I mean, like, I'm just archiving it, right? It's preservation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an odd argument. That's really what it was. So what I thought, I saw this meme. This is pretty funny. People who were like defending Kotaku here. Leave the multi-million-dollar company alone.
I mean, I'm not saying I agree with the whole pirating thing, but at the same time, right now, when it comes to gaming consoles, like it's hard to find a Switch right now. I try to find a Switch multiple times. When the Switches get put into like GameStop or other places, like those things get sold quick. Like right now, where I live, I can't find a Switch anywhere. They don't have them. They're not getting them. They're not getting shipments of Switch things till like a few months. And with the Switch OLED that just came out, everyone already bought all those. So it's like, I can kind of understand why people are like, I want to play this game. I don't have the Switch because there's none available. So yeah, I'm going to do the emulator. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I think, saying that publicly to a bunch of audience members is not probably the best look. But like for most of us, it's like, if we really want to play that game that bad, and we can't find a Switch or a device to play it on because they're not sending them, like, yeah, I probably would ask somebody, hey, what do you think I should do? Hey, yeah, you should probably like use an emulator. Like that, but an article saying that? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so they updated it after the backlash, right? And of course, they're going to try to snarky it because that's what they do. Saying that an earlier version of this story was understood by many readers to be a direct suggestion to illegally download this just released game. We regret this interpretation. Kotaku believes emulation is a vital part of the world of gaming, not least when it comes to game preservation, while not directly encouraging anyone to break the law and download games they have not purchased, because that's the key aspect there. We believe our readers are intelligent adults capable of making such choices for themselves, independently of us.
We're sorry we got caught in 4K telling y'all to steal Nintendo's games, but we're telling you now that you shouldn't do it, but you should because it's part of gaming culture. So yeah, we are here at Kotaku. Totally hold on. We do not encourage you guys to steal using emulators. Okay, you see? Don't.
Well, I mean, they even talk in the article here about like a certain emulator called Ryujinx.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they talk about different emulators. Like, oh, here's a popular one you can get your hands on. It's like the popular Yuzu open source emulator. Dread is already possible to play with custom controls and unlimited FPS settings, which is to say more powerful than it runs on the native Switch. I mean, like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, okay.
I was gonna say too, before you go, emulators' purpose, guys, for those of you who don't know, was to play games that they no longer have available for sale, like old games that don't exist sometimes anymore, like Nintendo games,
or games that weren't available overseas. They weren't brought over from overseas.
That was the point of emulators. Sorry, Matt.
So, well, no. I mean, like, look, it's like here's the thing: is I'm not arguing against piracy. Okay, I personally believe that when it comes to gaming specifically, they have done so much in recent years to start cutting back on demos, cutting back on the ability to try before you buy, cutting back on anything that's going to allow you as a consumer to make a better informed choice, rather than like pumping out this information to people who are, like more likely to give positive feedback because they received it for free, or it's their job, or they have some kind of, deal with them, or they have some kind of relationship with them. You know what I mean? So it's like gaming is $100+ billion a year industry. It outperforms Hollywood, and it's not going to slow down. There's a reason why Netflix right now is heavily pushing into gaming. Mm-hmm. The key here is what we're seeing is a situation where like they have pushed so far away from where it used to be. Cause I remember every game back in the day had a demo. Like,
right,
did you want to get, remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater? The Dreamcast had a demo disc with one course, and it was like a 6-minute trial. And like, my God, did we play for those 6 fucking minutes. And then when that game came out, my God, did we go out and buy that fucking game. Because he wanted to do the whole thing. When it comes to all, that's the whole point of demos, is giving the people an opportunity to try before they buy. But the unfortunate side though, is that now they're not doing that. Or like they do these betas, like, that are just glorified demos. But even then it's like, those are for like games as a service, or they're trying to test their server capacity or whatever. It's not like, what was it? Like Battlefield 2042 just had its demo this weekend. And there are people that were playing it on the Xbox Series X, and they're like, it's buggy. It's a mess. They should delay it till next year. It's not ready yet. But EA is like, fuck you. We already know how this game works. We're going to release it. It's going to be barely playable. It's going to be vanilla as fuck. Over the span of the next 6 months, we're going to drop update after update after update, which is then going to like get people in. But when you buy a fucking game, you cannot return it. Right. You can't return it. Once you open it, it's done. And I get reason why. Piracy is a big factor. A lot of other things are a big factor. But it's like, that is the thing now. You are absolutely so limited in what you can do as a consumer on this shit. And I'm not saying pirate, but like, how many people out there are like, I don't know if I want to drop 60. Is every game at Redbox? Can you get Switch games from Redbox? Can I rent fucking Metroid Dread from Redbox? I mean, otherwise I have to go through maybe, I don't think you can, but like you can go through Gamefly. Okay. That takes a couple days to ship. They might have limited resources available. It's like I have to wait. It's kind of the whole point is like they end up really kind of screwing everyone over. I think demos are fucking massively important. And I think it's ridiculous that the companies have moved away from that. And then they fucking shame you for wanting to try before you buy,
Yeah,
like I remember
I went to Redbox. The first thing that popped up was Space Jam New Legacy. Oh,
Space Jam. That fucking movie.
right.
Oh my God. There was a joke in the closer special where, I mean, he makes a freaking Israel-Palestine joke. Mm. And it's, I literally like covered my mouth in the car. I was laughing so hard. He's like, he just drops it. He doesn't explain what it is, but like, if you have followed the news, you know exactly what it is. And it was just holy shit.
By the way, you cannot get Metroid Dread in Redbox. I did look it up.
Yeah. Command here says 40K today. I want Half-Life series by Del Toro now. Yeah. I'll tell you what, buddy. The other night, I didn't get the chance to get to it. We'll do it. We'll do it. If there's a 5-minute one or something. I think you sent me something here. Astartes. Okay, I took a screenshot.
Yes.
Yes, I'd love to see a Half-Life series by Del Toro. That's the other fucking thing. They have a property. They could do more with it.
This is true.
It took 15 years for Dread between the last couple games, Metroid Zero and this one, right? Like the Dread to come out. And it's like 15 years. And that's the other thing. That's the other reason why fans are upset. Fans are upset because it's like they feel like Kotaku is saying like, hey, pirate this game that like took 15 years to come out. And it's like, well, the fans are going to go buy it, you know, but it's like they want it to be a success because they want more Metroid, because Nintendo would rather give us like a fucking, you know, Dynasty Warriors ripoff with Hyrule. And
Fun.
it was fun, sure, you know, rather than like give us, you know, more Metroid, which is like a property that could easily be a movie. And it could be, you know, it could easily be a movie or it could be a show. It could be, I fucking hate that shit sometimes. It's like Nintendo's ass backward way of thinking is just nuts for me. All right, this is
Ass and nuts, baby. Sorry.
It's like this is 13 minutes is a bit long. Let me see.
Okay, that gives me time to go pee.
Well, because it's like it's almost 1 a.m. and I have to get to bed here very, very, very soon. That's why
it's almost 4 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm in the future.
Okay, it's 5 episodes, but they're collectively 13 minutes. Okay, it's like, okay, I'll tell you what, man. We'll watch this. I will earmark it out. I got out late tonight. That's why. It's just 13 minutes is long. I do have to get to bed. I have to be up at 7 a.m. So it's only like 6 hours. So, okay. So Shifty here says, oh, you're overlooking Samus Returns. Yes, it was a remake of Metroid 2. But Metroid 2 was also basic on the Game Boy. Practically a whole new thing and a precursor to Dread. Okay. I don't know. Lewis here says, Saggy is making me sleepy. Just
making me sleepy.
Just spend more time looking at her and you'll be like, and then you're awake. Don't make that face at me. All right. I don't have bubble tea for you.
Wow. The black lipstick makes me wow. When I do that, the black lipstick really makes me look like a friggin' one of those scary movie things.
A little bit. All right. Yeah. Chile here says, I just fucked up. Go to bed, everybody. Don't worry. All good. Matt here to save the day with a smooth voice. Yeah, but you came in thank you, but you came in at the very end. Just because I have to get to bed. Anyway, so thank you for that, buddy. I know I know you want to watch it, man. I do. It's just, I got to take my kid to school. So, but we'll do it. I'll tell you what, we'll do it like first thing in the, tomorrow night. We'll do it first
why
thing.
Don't you play half now and half next time?
Because it's 13 minutes and I don't know if it's all.
Yes, 5 minutes.
All right. Fuck it. Fuck it. We'll just watch it. All right. Otis here with $5 says a Metroid. What the fuck are you doing? It's like, this is not my free cams. All right. That's your job after you leave here. That's what we've just talked about that, Saggy. You're going to get me in trouble. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't even want to know what the fuck you're doing at this point. All right. Well, it says here, please watch the originals first. I don't know what the originals are. So, okay, hold on here. Otis here says, Metroid movie sounds fun. If they had good writing, Critters on steroids is what they would have to deliver. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could. I mean, yeah, they could do something with that. All right. I'd like to see it though. All right. Okay, let's give this thing a shot, and then we're gonna probably we'll go through it, and then we'll wrap it up after the fact. So, I guess if there's any final super chats, I'll get to them at the very end there. You guys always keeping me up, you bastards. I love you, but you're all bastards. All right. Let me know if you can hear it. Wait.
Is it making sound? It looks like it's. Oh, it's not making sound.
It's not there yet. There we go. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I mean, the graphics are nice. CG is very nice.
Looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
Looks like No Man's Sky from like 2016. I do like the depth of field though. Ram it. Ram it. Ram it. Eat a dick. That's what we call non-consensual entry.
You need Jesus in your life. What the hell is that?
I don't know. Wait, is this a prequel to Army of the Dead?
You gotta open the safe before the zombies come. Are you shooting fucking laser?
I don't think so.
Let's say it sounds like a friggin' it sounds like Star Wars. The laser guns.
Ooh.
Oh damn.
Oh my god. I just got fucking sliced in half. Ooh. Man, like how bulletproof are those the suits?
Either that or they have stormtrooper aim.
I don't know. I mean, they just turned those other guys into Swiss fucking cheese.
Why these guys aren't wearing helmets? What the heck?
I don't know.
That's one weird ass looking braid.
Yeah, I got the vibe. I got the vibe for Dread too, Yvonne. I did. I got that vibe for Dread. Anthony, stop, dude. Stop. I've told you. Stop.
One guy made this?
One guy, yeah, wow.
That's a lot of work. Whoa. Not bad for one dude.
Jesus Christ. He ripped off the ponytail, bro. Party foul.
You don't rip off the man's hair. That was dirty.
You know how long it takes to grow a ponytail? Especially when you're doing it like all mullet style? A while.
Right. I don't like that. That kind of
that's the kind of shit that gets you a Texas burial.
Right? You cut the man's hair off. It's disrespectful. Now I'm really invested. I want to know what's in that safe.
Cuties too.
Get out. Get out of your own stream. Get the fuck out. You're fucking dumb, bro. That's so dumb. Oh, who's this mofo? He looks like a badass. Skull on the back. Smoking some hookah.
It's like a monk.
He's got dreads, braids. What is it with everybody looking like they got braids and dreads? What's going on?
I just find it interesting that those paladins have like capes on their fucking. It's like Iron Man put a cape on, you know?
Iron Man should have a cape. Oh, what does he have? The Shurigan eye?
Well, he got the eye injured. I think when he was fighting that guy with the ponytail.
Oh, okay. I don't know what they're doing.
Walking in the dark.
Why would you walk in the dark? That seems sus.
Because Linkin Park told us to, Saggy.
Crawling in my skin. I mean, it's cool that at least they can find their way with this messed up eye. Okay, what happened? All this for Jabba the Hutt? Oh wait, that's not Jabba the Hutt. That was like a blob or something.
Oh wow.
Why is that statue naked though?
He's born that way?
No. She put clothes on him.
Why does male nudity scare you, Saggy?
Yes, it does. It scares me so much. Uh-oh. It's just like a physical interpretation of how babies are born. These army guys with the sperm cells going to fertilize the egg. Impregnate that thing.
Wow.
Cocky party.
Say bukkake party?
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't help myself. This dude better be badass. Do something, bro. This dude better be a savage. Do it. Uh-oh.
Okay. Jesus.
All that for him to get killed. Okay.
They punched his head off.
No, didn't they break his face and then they shoot on him?
I mean, I don't know what they fucked him up. Wait, magnets, how do they work?
I don't understand what just happened.
Impregnation.
I guess so.
But like 5 dudes at once.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. Like, it's literally like they're going to impregnate this egg and then it absorbed them. So, yeah, I wasn't that off.
This is one of those things where it's like there should be.
Ooh, that scared me a little. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, why is he armless? I forgot that he was armless. Ugh, why does his blood look like friggin' that? Ugh. I hope he's a left hand.
Yeah. Ooh. So I think he went to like a different dimension.
Wait. Well, why did the thing take off his arm when he shot it, though? What the hell was it? That's crazy.
That's definitely something wild.
That was way more than 5 minutes, too, so good on you.
That was like 13. Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
I owed it to Command Unit, I'll fully admit. All right. That was nuts, but it is good time to kind of wrap it. I know I saw Chile here says, Matt, the reason why I'm late is because I came at the very end. That's good, man. I appreciate you coming in anyway. Thank you very much. There's a lot to watch, a lot of interesting conversations, things to check out. What am I hearing?
Okay, so apparently, so hold on. That's crazy. I was watching Black Widow, and am I hearing myself? What the hell's going on? I was watching Black Widow in the other room, and I had paused it because I had a stream, and then yeah, it was paused for like since 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and it just unpaused itself. So that
happens sometimes.
Yeah, but it usually does. It usually happens like earlier, but this happened like what time was it? 4 o'clock in the morning. I paused it at 7 p.m. So it was paused for like hours, and it just now unpaused itself. It's pretty weird.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you to everyone who came in. This conversation was very fascinating, and there were some other topics I wanted to get to, but we didn't get to that, and that's okay. That's okay. I like seeing the conversations through to the end, unlike other friends of ours who cut things off. Max,
I tried to be good.
No, you're good. You're good. It was a good combo. All right. What was Jarbo yelling stop at? Oh, Anthony. I guess Anthony he does that when he gets like, if I don't talk to him enough, whatever. I like Anthony, but he just little clingy.
We love Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta understand, like, there's a lot of people to talk to. I can't, it's unfortunate, but I'll do a call in later this week and he'll call in and be fine. All right. Thank you, TW, for popping on in, man. I gotta get you on here soon one time too. And let's see here. Hold on. Did I see Doomcock's new video on No Time to Die? He goes full mask off talking about the destruction of white men. I saw that he put up a video that was like the end of Bond or something. I haven't seen No Time to Die yet, so I didn't want to watch it. And I try not to watch Doomcock unless I feel exceptionally masochistic. So, but that's kind of funny. That will be no, McLeod. That was absolutely him. I think he got hidden by one of the other mods, and he's got multiple accounts. So that was absolutely him. I believe me. All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming on in. Be sure to leave a like. We've got 50 people, 30 likes. Let's try to get to 50. I appreciate that. If you're catching this on the VOD, definitely leave a comment. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again, Saggy, for coming on. Really appreciate it.